Today we're going to be rebuilding Como, a team that obviously are now in the Serie A, but we're going to take the whole journey today and go from Serie B to Serie A winners. Now, they have got a lot of new players in. We are going to have those players from the get-go and make it realistic. If you do enjoy the rebuilds, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you enjoy my content that much, you can, of course, turn on the notifications above very, very easily. You can also leave a comment what rebuild you want to see next. That's enough waffling. Let's get into the video. But this is going to be Como 1907 inside of Football Manager 2024. Now, at the moment, they're a 3-star reputation side. We hope to change that. 2.5-star training, 3-star youth, and the youth recruitment is absolutely diabolical. The owners absolutely love the club, and of course, they have attracted some fairly big players through the appointment of having Cesc Fabregas as manager. Now, in terms of a club, their history is pretty slim. I will be honest, they haven't really won much in terms of big trophies, but today we are going to try and change that by adding one more Serie B title, because we are obviously going to get promoted, and trying to win a Serie A title as well, all within 5 years. Now, I will say as a club, they have brought in some pretty big players, and the team looks like this. We are using this CES tactic. You can find it on my main channel, link in the description. Again, if you are a Patreon member, you already will have had this tactic, and if you want to carry on the rebuild today, you can go over to that Patreon and get the rebuild file as well. But let's go through and look about some of these players, because they've got some ballers. So as you can see, it's a 4-2-4 we're playing. The first player I'm going to talk about is Belotti. Yes, he's 29, but I have used this guy and been known to sign this guy in this game, and he is absolutely clinical. He can put the ball in the back of the net, and you know what? That's all that we're going to ask for. The next player is going to be Strafeza, a player again who a lot of people might turn their nose up at, but do you know what? 15 acceleration, 15 pace, great dribbling, great flair, everything you would want for a right winger, so welcome into him. He's a fantastic player. We've got to bring him up, haven't we? Rafael Varane, of course, a star Serie A player. He looks absolutely ridiculous. He is going to thrive in the Serie B for one season, hopefully one season, coming in from Manchester United as well. We're also going to have Alberto Moreno. Any Liverpool fans? Nightmares probably remembering that name, because he was absolutely diabolical for you, but overall he's good for this level. Of course, we do have, I believe, Pepe Reina as well, a bit of a legend of the game as well, and other several players who they have brought in. They have done really well to attract some of these players in, and I will say, obviously you've got the likes of this lad as well. That is going to be Kone coming in. Some really good players, and I do honestly think in real life they might cause a bit of an issue. Now, the thing that I'm going to keep an eye out for in this tactic is playing with this much higher defensive line. It's fine for Serie B, but I think for Serie A it might be a little bit too extreme. But of course, we are going to make 0 signings. We would have only had 857,000 anyway. We are playing in 2 competitions, the Italian Serie B and the Italian Cup. They are predicting a finish of first place, quite dominant as well. And with this team, with this tactic as well, it should be quite easy. Let's go and get season 1 done, see how dominant we are. It was not as dominant as what I thought, but we got the job done. We put our foot down towards the end of the season, and we did in the end have I guess, quite a good lead from first to second. Parma are going to join us in going up in the rankings. Belotti, the joint first top goal scorer, not a shadow of doubt when it comes to that. We've got 3 players in the most assists, 3 players in the most average rating, and I will say overall we are going to pretty much dominate every single stat line, including possession, including goals, including fewest conceded. It really was a strong season. The other cup we were in, of course, is going to be that Italian Cup. Unfortunately, Torino, a Serie A team, a little bit too tough for us. We actually go out in the first round, which is very, very early on, and we are going to lose there on penalties. So again, quite close, but not good enough at the end of the day. Now, as an actual team, we are going to go and see what we have done. Belotti doing Belotti things, 25 goals, 16 coming in for Ballet. We've got Verdi with 15, 11 coming in for Gabriel there. Olivier there coming in with 10 as well. A good contribution with assists coming in from Strafeza, the player who I was absolutely adamant was going to do a fantastic job, and he has done that. 20 coming in for Verdi, 17 coming in for Ballet as well. We have got Luca, who actually is a player out on loan. I don't know too much about him. Luca Vignali, a player I've never seen before. I'm not going to try and lie about that. He had a good season out on loan, to be fair, where credit is due. Now, the big question, and the question we've got to talk about, is how much money have we got going into the first Serie A season? 25 million, that is quite acceptable. Now, I will say, we have actually got a fair few of these players that are Serie A quality. I'm going to talk about them right now. They are going to consist of Varane, probably Moreno, both wingers, Belotti, Verdi, can do it for a season. He is 31, but he can do it for a season. The bench might need a little bit of improvement, like for the likes of Pepe Reina, for example. He can play in the Serie A. He's actually got some really good stats for a goalkeeper of his age, but unfortunately, I've just seen it. He is retiring, so we're not even going to have him for the first Serie A season. But do you know what? This team, probably 5 or 6 players, can do it quite comfortably in the Serie A. Unfortunately, though, we haven't got enough money to really improve the entire rest of the positions we need. So we'll try and stretch this money out big time. But overall, a very convincing first season. As you can see, really turned it on towards the end of the season. Not too many losses at all, to be fair. Very few losses. A really good season. But let's get into the second transfer window with our budget and try and improve where we need to. First up, we are going to pick up Connie De Winter. De Winter, however you say that. He looks absolutely nuts. I've never signed him, coming in from the Serie A as well. And I will say, this guy just looks so well-rounded. 14 acceleration, 15 pace, great fitness, great tackling, everything I would want for a centre-back. He's only 22 and can grow, and he's already a good Serie A player. He sent me back a total of 9.5 million, which is absolute pennies. Nato Sanchez. Now, this player gets a lot of stick, because obviously, when he moved to these big clubs, he didn't exactly do a great job, did he? But do you know what? I think he can come into this team and hopefully take the Serie A by storm under my management with this tactic. As an overall player, you're not going to get much more of a better, well-rounded player for the price tag of 12.2 million. Yes, it was done in installments, but do you know what? Overall, he's a player we needed for midfield and walks in any day. When you look at players who are going to partner a Belotti, someone of a similar stature that has done so well in the team, Lorenzo Luca is a player who was an FM legend a couple of years ago. Bit overlooked this year in my opinion, and do you know what? For 10.5 million, 23 years old, a good Serie A player, he is close to his potential, so I'm not going to say he's going to come in and naturally take over and become the best striker in 3 or 4 years, but for now, 15 finishing, 14 composure, 18 jumping, 17 heading. You know where I'm going with this. He's going to get into the team quite easily, and that is going to be all 3 signings. And as you can see, we are going to wrap up with Reina, Cassandro. Well, Reina is actually going to be retiring halfway through the season, so he's going to start for a little bit. But Reina, Cassandro, De Winter, Varane, that back line now is incredible. With Moreno, Sanchez, Balemo, Strafeza, Bale, Luca, and Belotti. I will say Moreno, I give him stick right in real life, but in the game, he's absolutely incredible. 17 stamina, good acceleration, good pace, good work rate, good tackling. He is more than capable of playing in this league. And this team itself, I'm like, do you know what? Hang on a second, Josh. This team can get you inside the top 6, and I do believe that. I genuinely believe we can get in the top 6 of this team. It's absolutely incredible. Of course, we are playing in the same 2 competitions, and they are going to be predicting a finish of 12th place, which actually is quite generous for a first team promoted. But do you know what? I think top 6 is on the cards. Let's get into Season 2 with this fantastic team and see what we can do. So an Italian Cup final in our first season in the Serie A, and unfortunately for us, Inter Milan, they turned up to this cup final, and they turned up in numbers. They are going to take the lead 2-0 inside of 35 minutes, and unfortunately for us, there is only one more goal to come. It is luckily for us, but you know, it's still going to be a loss. Not a bad run, but heartbreak. Isn't heartbreak, it's going to be a top 4 finish in the Serie A in our first season. Now, I will say, Lorenzo Luca has absolutely set light to the Serie A with 25 goals. Now, I'm in 2 split minds about this. As an achievement, it's fantastic, but we are now playing in the Champions League with only really having 1 full transfer window under our belt, and I'm actually quite nervous. Now, this might get overridden if we get a massive budget, but I will say at the moment I am nervous playing in the Champions League with this current team. Now, we are going to see how much money we've been given. Firstly, leave a like on the video for that accomplishment, because that is a mental achievement inside of our first Serie A season, and we have got... The video's not stopped. We've got 1.9 million. Now, I hope I've just not gone further enough into it. That is what I am really banking on right now. I'm going to go and make sure that is correct, because I had a bit of stop. I was basically shell-shocked then. It was complete frozen from me. 1.9 million. I'm actually quite worried, because we've got players here who have, you know, contracts. What are the contracts looking like? I mean, let's talk about this first. Lorenzo Luca with 28 goals, 19 for Belotti, Sanchez with 13, 10 coming in for Strafeza, Bale coming in with 6. So Lorenzo Luca and Belotti proving they can still do it in the big leagues. 18, 10, 10 and 9, 8, 8. It's okay for sort of assist throughout a whole team. Moreno and Strafeza really contributing big time. The best player actually is going to be Lorenzo Luca, because these two didn't play a lot of games. So Lorenzo Luca is going to be the star player of the team. But what worries me here is it's 2025. We have got so many players out of contract this year and next year, and we have got a grand total of 1.9 million. Let's get into season 3 of the transfers. I don't know if I've just not gone further enough. We should be receiving a big budget. Well, I wasn't wrong, and it's got even worse, because we have not managed to sign any players. That was our budget, and unfortunately for us, I couldn't even keep this individual, the player who was set light and done so well in this team. He is going to go on the free to a Saudi Arabian team, and it's an absolute disaster. We've lost 3 other players there. These are the players that did not want a new contract because I couldn't afford the amount of money they wanted to stay at the club. These players are going to leave. We've brought no players in. We've not strengthened. We've actually got worse. Lost a real key player, and the team is now going to look like this. And I will say, we're now in the Champions League. We've been don't worry, that is the under 20 and under 18s. Do not worry, because I have looked through them teams as well to pick up any potential talent. This is going to be the team. The right wing has taken a big hit in particular, and we're now playing in the Champions League. It is not going to be pretty, in my opinion, at all. Of course, we are now playing in 4 competitions as well. It's not only the Champions League, it's also the Italian Super Cup, and they are going to be predicted a finish of around about 11th place. For me, I am absolutely petrified. That budget was an utter disgrace. We got Champions League football and got given 2 million, which has all gone into keeping players at the club. This season 3, it's going to look ugly. So Italian Cup final now, again against Inter Milan, and it goes all the way down to penalties, and it was actually quite a dramatic penalty shootout with Martinez missing his. We're quite flawless on penalties, it seems. As you can see, some really good penalties from both sides, but as it stands, we are in the lead, and as you watch these penalties keep on going, for Fratesi, quite a good penalty there. A great penalty from us there, past Jan Sommer. Carboni steps, kind of down the middle. Carlos steps, decent penalty from him. Varane steps, a rock-solid penalty from him. They're going to step, and another save, and we are going to be your Italian Cup champions. And I will say, we got battered in the final, but I'll take it. Now, the Champions League, we somehow got to the quarterfinals with this team. Unfortunately, we get absolutely humiliated against PSG, but to get to this stage, I'll take any day. The Italian Super Cup, again, I was not going to expect to win it, purely because of the situation we got dealt with the transfer budget. We're going to go out in the semi-finals against AC Milan. We didn't get humiliated. It is going to be a 2-1 defeat. How did we do in the league? Okay, we've actually improved. That really does surprise me, considering the situation with the more games being played. So it's actually going to be a better season than last, an improvement in the league and an Italian Cup win. So how we have improved, I don't know. Maybe the players got more familiar with the system. I don't know what's happened, but we have improved. That's a really good season. Obviously joint points there with Juve, but a better goal difference. Belotti top goal scorer. We have got Kuna coming in there with the most assists as well. A real strong season. And let's look at actually who saved us, I guess. Let's actually change this from the under 20s again. We'll go into this. We are going to have 31 goals for Belotti, Lorenzo Luca with 25, 16 coming in there for Ballet. We have got Kuna coming in with 13, 10 coming in there for Renato Sanchez. Varane with 8, a really strong season from him. Assist-wise, 23, 15, 12, 11, 10, 9. Really good to see. A lot of players getting involved right there. And who was the star player overall? It is going to be going to this man. Lorenzo Luca is causing issues for every single team in this league. What a player. Hopefully we can keep him. The contract situation, again, is going to be difficult. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 12 players? 11 or 12 players with contracts expiring this year. We're going to have to sort that out. We have also got several for 2027. And this is where I need a big budget. I need 40 million. 40 million, please. 16 million, I know I'm probably asking for too much. 16 million pounds is going to get us virtually nothing again, because we've got to spend money keeping the players we have got. We've got to try and improve now, because we are trying to win the Serie A. Remember, that is the main aim, and it's going to be very, very difficult, but let's see what we can do. We're going to have to spend quite a fair bit of money in trying to keep some of these players. I mean, overall, it's actually a really, really strong season, but let's see what we can do, because we're very limited when it comes to funding. So, season 4 of the transfers, every single player you're going to see has been taken off the free agents list. Yes, we're desperate. We have got no money to spend, so they are all going to be free agents. And I will say, this player is a banging free agent. He reminds me a lot like Strafeza. Very similar, but probably a little bit better, to be honest with you. He cost me a grand total of 0, £0, and he's valued at 41 to 51 million. Unfortunately to us, he's on 105 grand a week, but I guess you pay for what you get. Then I'm going to go over and pick up Suzuki, not the car, but an amazing goalkeeper, an incredible goalkeeper, a good Serie A player at the age of 23, and still can grow into a leading Serie A goalkeeper. He looks absolutely incredible. He's only on 38 grand a week, and the best thing about it, he cost me nothing. Next up is going to be Ruben Neves, and probably the biggest signing of the video, purely because of the wage that he's on 135 grand a week, and he is going to set me back, again, £0. We had a team pay 47 a few seasons ago. He's still got a lot of stuff to give to this game. He's only 29 years of age, played for some pretty big teams, played in the toughest competition in the world, and he's coming to us for £0. Next up is going to be a bit of a gamble, because it is going to be Side Ben Rama coming in, and I will say right now, for 55 grand a week, I will take the punt. He is not necessarily looking incredible, but again, versatility reasons, a great player who can play on the left, in the middle, and on the right, but he is 30 years of age, but he cost me nothing. Worst comes to worst, we can sell him on for a few million. Surprised this player was actually available on the free, but it is going to be Nico Williams. Again, a fantastic right back from Liverpool, 38 grand a week. Yes, he's played all of his football over in England, so it is a bit of a move, but if there's a player that I think can play quite well in the Serie A, it would be this guy, because again, he looks incredible, he cost me nothing, and to be honest, very similar to Ben Rama. If he doesn't perform, we can cash in 5-6 million next season, and I'll be honest with you guys, this is by far the most challenging rebuild I have done in terms of signing players. We're going to lose a couple of players again on the free, but we had no money. Every single player here cost me absolutely nothing. The options were limited, we had to pretty much pick from a very select few, and these were the best on the market. Now I will say, the team is going to look better despite not spending a single penny. The goalkeeper's taken a big improvement, the right back has, the back line's actually probably Serie A title challenging, to be honest. A really strong back line, a really strong midfield, good wingers, good strikers as well. I'm not saying we're going to win the Serie A, because I don't think we are going to in this season, but genuinely, if there is a team on paper that can finish in the top 4, this is going to be that team, because we are really strong. But where we are weak compared to the other teams is we keep losing players, so we're not even really improving our bench, anything like that. We're losing first team players, replacing first team players, but not getting a big enough budget to bring in more quantity. So it's quite a tough rebuild. It really has been a challenge, and we are playing in those same 4 competitions, and I would imagine the prediction is going to be around about 10th, 9th place, pretty much bang on. But let's see what we can do in the fourth transfer, another 4th season. But it's looking pretty bleak. Let's go and see what we can do. Well, apparently the Italian Cup is just rigged for us to play Inter Milan every time, and do you know what? We get off to an absolute diabolical start. Martinez, the man that cost him the game last time, actually puts them in the lead, but we luckily bounce back in the 87th minute to make it 2 extra time, where we turn up big time now. Down the left-hand side, the ball into the box, Neves on the edge, the big game player, performing in a big game, and we are going to wrap this up 3-1 with Neves again over the top into Ballet, into the middle. It's another cup final win. We're then going to move on to the Champions League, where unfortunately the round of 16 is going to be where we pack our bags and go home, as we are going to get knocked out by Borussia Dortmund, and they've done it quite comfortably. Exact same situation happens in the Italian Super Cup. It is going to be an exit in the semi-final against AC Milan, but we have won the Italian Serie A. We have got it done, and I am quite surprised. Although I look at the players I've brought in, for example, the winger we brought in, Neves, for example, Williams, we actually done quite well in terms of the players we are going to bring in. We have won it by 1 point. I will be honest, it wasn't a pretty season. We drew 4, and we did lose 5 as well. But overall, we've got the job done, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. We've got a player here who is going to be the player that was on the free, joint first top goal scorer there with Thuram and Dusan. He also picked up the most assists, with Ruben Neves in second place. The goalkeeper we picked up on the free, second most amount of clean sheets. Every player we signed actually turned up and performed to the highest level possible. And do you know what? It just goes to show you don't always need to spend money to win titles, and we've got that done. So overall, it is going to be a double win in last season. As an actual rebuild rule, we have come in and we have won them, obviously another Serie B, 2 Italian Cups, and 1 Serie A trophy. My challenge to you, those of you that are going to take on this challenge, is to win a European trophy of any form. Of course, you can get the tactic we used today and the rebuild file over on that Patreon. Accept this challenge. If you do take on the challenge, send me a picture when you accomplish it, because I don't think you can do it. Prove me wrong. But of course, we are going to look at the team we have left you. We have left you with this exact same team we just obviously display in Season 4. No players have left midway through the season, I don't think, just players that are wanted. So you can have this exact team, and you are going to have a budget, a lot more than what I've ever had, of £21 million to try and improve on this team. Now, of course, the challenge I'll set you is quite hard, but, you know, if there's someone that can do it, maybe it can be you, maybe it can't. We'll have to see. But overall, we've done the challenge. I'm happy with how the video was done. 4 seasons, probably about average to get this job done, in my opinion. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Before we do end the video, though, let's go and see what the stats have been like. That is going to be 25 coming in from the new man, 24 for Belotti, 21 for Lorenzo Luca, Ruben Neves with 20, 13 for Ben Rama, Varane with 9, 6 coming in there for Jean. We have got 35 assists. This new player here, by the way, is incredible. Neves 20 goals and 17, by the way, 15 for Luca, 10 for Nico Williams. Every single free player we brought in has been absolutely incredible. So that is going to be the final part of the video. It goes to show, look at them free agents, boys and girls, because they can win your league titles. I'll be seeing you in the next one.